Sexual addiction. You have felt the sting of betrayal. You have asked yourself the agonizing question, was I not enough? Why did they need so many others? The truth is darker, colder, and are more mechanical than you could ever imagine. The narcissist is not a lover, but a slave to a biological impulse they cannot control. It has everything to do with a gaping, screaming void inside them that they are desperately trying to fill with bodies. To a narcissist, sex is not an act of intimacy. It is a transaction of supply. When they are engaging with you, they are extracting supply. When they are engaging with a stranger, they are extracting supply. They do not see the difference because they do not see people. They see objects. They are hoarders of human attention, and their sexual addiction is simply the manifestation of their insatiable greed. It was the frantic energy of an addict getting their fix. They love-bombed you physically to hook you, to turn you into a reliable dispenser of the dopamine they crave. But just like a drug addict builds a tolerance, the narcissist built a tolerance to you. The narcissist gets a dopamine spike not from the act itself but from the pursuit. The moment they secure a new target, the dopamine drops. This creates a perpetual cycle of hunting. If they stop, they have to sit with their own thoughts, and for a narcissist, introspection is death. They use sexual conquest as a distraction from the deep-seated shame and emptiness that defines their core self. Even if they are cerebral, they use their body as a weapon. They derive their worth from their ability to seduce. If they are not being desired by multiple people, they feel worthless. They need a constant stream of external validation to prop up their fragile ego. One person cannot provide enough fuel for the machine to burn. When the urge hits, triggered by stress, boredom, or a bruise to their ego, they go into a trance state. They will risk their marriage, their career, and their reputation for a cheap thrill. It is pathological risk-taking. They feel invincible, believing they are smarter than everyone else and will never get caught. The secret life they build is elaborate and terrifying. They compartmentalize their life with the precision of a spy. You are living in one room of the house believing it is the whole world while they are running a brothel in the basement. You realize you were sleeping next to a stranger who viewed your trust not as a gift but as a blind spot to be exploited. They need the stability you provide. You make them look like a good spouse, a good parent, a solid citizen. If they lost you, they would lose their cover. They want the thrill of the addiction and the safety of the sanctuary you built. It is the ultimate act of selfishness, using you as a shield while they stab you in the back. Studies suggest that narcissists have structural abnormalities in the areas of the brain associated with empathy and reward processing. They are dopamine deficient. They do not feel pleasure in the subtle quiet moments of life like you do. Sexual conquest provides a massive sharp spike of dopamine. They are biologically chasing a high that normal life cannot provide. The sexual addiction serves as a painkiller. Sexual conquest acts as a temporary anesthetic. They feel like a god. They feel powerful. But because the fix is external, it wears off rapidly. The shame returns louder than before, demanding another hit. To the narcissist, people are not human beings with souls. They strip you of your humanity to use you. This is why they can be so cold and detached immediately after the act. Once the biological urge is satisfied, the object is no longer needed. They discard the person like a used tissue. This dehumanization allows them to cheat without guilt. They do not experience intimacy. They focus on their own pleasure or their own prowess. The partner is merely a prop to facilitate this performance. The danger of getting caught adds to the high. It triggers adrenaline which mixes with the dopamine to create a potent speedball effect. Doing it in your bed. These transgressions make them feel superior. I am fooling everyone. I am smarter than them. The betrayal itself is part of what gets them off. They starve themselves of real emotional nourishment. To compensate, they binge on sexual encounters. They purge the experience, discard the partner and remain empty. They are consuming vast amounts of bodies but receiving zero nutrition for their soul. They remain spiritually starving while gorging themselves on flesh. The narcissist uses sex to regulate anxiety. They are trying to solve an internal crisis with an external conquest. The stress triggers the addiction. Novelty is their only god. The narcissist's brain stops responding to familiar stimuli very quickly. No matter how beautiful, intelligent, or skilled you are, you become familiar. To a narcissist, familiar equals invisible. They crave the new supply because the newness itself is the drug. They are addicted to the spark of the first touch, the first look, the first validation. They are chasing a beginning that never has an ending. They live in a paranoid world where everyone is a predator because they are a predator. The narcissist is terrified of aging and mortality. Sexual vitality is their proof of life. As long as they can attract a partner, they feel immortal. They use younger partners to siphon off youth and vitality. They are vampires trying to outrun the grave by drinking the life force of others. In the beginning, they were careful. But addiction is progressive. They start taking bigger risks. The narcissist, in their arrogance, believes they are untouchable, but the addiction makes them reckless. A normal person caught cheating might show remorse. A narcissist shows fury. They weaponize your pain against you. You begin to see the coldness in their eyes. The mask of the loving partner dissolves, revealing the addict. They look at you with contempt. It wasn't just a one-time mistake. It was a lifestyle. The entire reality of your relationship was a fabrication. This reality break is the most painful part. You realize you were in love with a character played by an actor who was sleeping with the audience during the intermission. It's a disease. While the compulsion is real, the lack of empathy is the root cause. You are pouring water into a bucket with no bottom. You are fighting for your sanity against a biological machine that is programmed to destroy. As the addiction consumes them, the narcissist enters a state of spiritual bankruptcy. They are miserable, anxious, and hollow. For a narcissist, reputation is everything. Losing it is a psychic death. They become paranoid, lashing out at anyone they perceive as a threat. They are a wounded animal, dangerous and unpredictable. They have traded a diamond for a pocket full of gravel. They are trying to plug the holes in the Titanic with chewing gum. You, the survivor, grapple with STD anxiety and physical trauma. You have to get tested. You have to face the physical reality of their betrayal. This is the ultimate violation. They risked your life for a 5-minute thrill. They move from person to person with dead eyes. They are the living dead. They are slaves to a chemical impulse they cannot control. You who stood by them, who loved them, who tried to help them, you are the strong one. You cannot fill a black hole. Their addiction is a structural defect in their soul. Real intimacy is safety. Real intimacy is loyalty. Real intimacy is knowing that your partner protects your body and your heart even when you aren't in the room. The narcissist is incapable of this. They want to consume your light to hide their darkness. Walk away from the performance. The competition is rigged. The only way to win is to leave the stadium. Let them play their twisted games alone. Cut them off completely. Become a ghost. Your silence is the only thing they cannot manipulate. Your body belongs to you. It is sacred. It is not a dumping ground for a narcissist's shame. Reclaim your sexuality. Reclaim your confidence. You are whole on your own. You do not need a broken person to validate your existence. The narcissist will continue their cycle. They will find new supply. They will cheat. But you are off the ride. You are standing on solid ground, watching the carousel spin out of control from a safe distance. You now have the secret knowledge. You can spot a predator from a mile away. You are wiser. You are stronger. You are bulletproof. The narcissist is a slave to their desire. Doomed to hunger forever.